Yes, yes, my people. Jacob on the one up top, and it's full time. Tottenham 2, West Ham nil. Just how we like it. You know what I mean? Like, I hate playing them lot, man. You know what I mean? Like, they've created a rivalry that is a good rivalry for the spectacle. For us, it's another big-ish game, but they just do my head in. Like, I know we're unsuccessful, but compared to West Ham, we're like Man City or Arsenal, Man United, or one of them guys. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just if I'm all I'm gonna do. I've got so much going in my head. That's why I just paused for a sec. But first of all, like I always do in my videos, I'm gonna ask you to like, share, subscribe. You know, if you subscribed, hit the notification button and see the content coming out. I'm trying to get it out as often as I can. But yeah, I want to speak about the opposition first. If I'm going to be fair, West Ham did what they needed to do. Do you know what I mean? If I was a West Ham fan, I would, in times gone by, they've been in this sort of position and took it to Tottenham and got results. Do you know what I mean? There's times where they've been in relegation scraps and they've got results. There's times where they've been in and around us, got results. There's times they've been above us and they've got results. So in this predicament, it's like because the results went against them in some respects. You know, you had Bournemouth won, you had Southampton and you got a result at Stamford Bridge. It was a game where they couldn't afford to lose it. So going toe to toe with not necessarily prolific Tottenham, but you're away in the Premier League. Like I said in one of my previous videos, it doesn't matter who you play in this league. Yeah, going away is difficult. You know what I mean? Like there was a run that Man United went on 2 seasons ago. I think they'd gone like 27 games unbeaten away under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And people just took it for granted. I was like, 27 games unbeaten away. If they sorted their home form out, they would have been winning the leagues above Man City and Liverpool. I think away form's important because no matter where you go, it's difficult. Even at home. You look at Wolves, Bournemouth. Everyone would have thought Wolves was a dead cert considering they beat Liverpool the other day, but they lost at home to Bournemouth, who everybody is raving about that being a given at home. So. It's one of those where West Ham did what they had to do. I was surprised that towards the latter stage of the game, they didn't get a bit more adventurous. I thought that they would, sit in for 60 minutes and then try and pick us off. But I just think the confidence is shattered amongst the squad. David Moyes is feeling it. And, David Moyes has been a seasoned coach for a long time, but he's been there before with Everton. He's been down in the dumps with Man United. He's been down in the dumps with West Ham before, even though he picked them up. So he knows that every point is crucial. So I'm not surprised that what he did to an effect, but I am surprised that when it was 1-0 for a long time, he didn't make it a little bit more exciting for West Ham. But, they'll move on to the next game. They're definitely in the relegation scrap. They're in the bottom 3 and the 20-odd games gone. So you can't really say they're not in one. Do you know what I mean? If your club was in that position, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We're getting Champions League football." You know what sort of mess you're in. So yeah, as much as West Ham are rivals, I wish them all the best. Everybody, if you're most Spurs fans, you'll hear them say, "I want West Ham to get relegated." But for me, I would never want West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea. I'd never want them to get relegated, even though I get where they come from. I want them to be relegated just for the sheer fact that I love my London derbies. I love my big games, I'm from Kent. I'm from London. Those are the games that I look for as soon as the fixtures are in. So as much as I want the London teams to struggle, I don't want them to disappear. Maybe Chelsea because of the way they've cheated their way up to the top. But besides that, I don't want anybody. But, going back to our game, I said it on a pod yesterday. Son needs to be dropped in order to score. He needs to be dropped. He needs that time to think, analyse, look at the situation. I said it on my video after Leicester. I said it on a video yesterday. Shout out Alan Clark, Ryan Madden, Mark, all them boys. Told them. And they already knew as well that Son needs to be dropped. Like if Man United can drop Ronaldo to have a little think, we need to be dropping our players, And it's worked. Son came on, he had a bit of purpose, there's a bit of excitement. I sat there with the kids, said, when we was 1-0 up all that time, I said to them, Son will come on and score. came on, within 10 minutes he scored. That's what needs to happen. Now, what I don't want to happen is for Son to come straight back in. I think if Richarlison was to start in the next game and Son was to be brought on again, he'd have even more hunger. I don't want this, 60-minute hunger. I want consecutive games where if you're not performing, you're dropped. So if Son does start the next game, cool. But if you're not scoring, you're getting dropped next week. Because Richarlison wasn't great, but like I said before, if you don't feel integrated in the squad, it doesn't matter what sort of industry you're in. If you've got a job, and you work in a call center, you work out in the field, you work on a building site. If you've been working there for ages, but you haven't really been talking to people, you haven't really been getting involved, no one really wants you to be on their friends, you're getting people, snake you, you haven't really got any friends. You're not going to settle, are you? Whereas if you get to the point where you make friends, you get to the point where you're getting involved, all of a sudden you feel that you've got some level of importance to the squad, to the team, to the company, then you get to the point where you feel this is the place to be. So I think that's what Richarlison needs. So I feel that he needs a few more games. He might not start against Milan, but I feel at least give him half hour regardless. Because, if the front three, if one of them is not doing well, bring them off. Simple as that. Let Richarlison give these minutes. That's what needs to happen with all of them. We've got 6 attacking players that in any given moment can do well in games. We've got the main front three, which is Kane, Kulusevski and Son. We've got Lucas Moura, we've got Danjuma, and you've got Richarlison. So that's effectively you've got 2 front threes there. If one ain't doing well, start integrating the other. Because if you've got 6 forwards that feel that they're chomping at the bit and want to go on and win games, that bodes well. You look at Liverpool, for instance. I think that's what Jurgen Klopp's ideology was that you've got, Darwin Núñez, you've got Firmino, you've got Salah, you've got Jota, Diaz, Gakpo. 6 players that can all turn a game. So, if you've got a front three that he decides to choose, but there's another 3 waiting in the wings and they're on form, then you know full well your attack's sorted. It's just, what's going on at the back. And I feel that's what's happening with Spurs at the minute. We've got goals. It needs to be sorted out at the back. In terms of the back, everybody did well. Shout out Ben Davies, played out of position, considering he hasn't played there for a long time, did reasonably well. Emerson Royal, this guy set the tone for me today. And everybody was talking about Pedro Porro needs to start. I said he shouldn't have played against Leicester. No one wouldn't listen. We got battered 4-1 and he got exposed. Emerson Royal played against AC Milan, which wasn't his greatest game, but I felt that he wasn't going to have a great game because it was like, well, how come I got dropped in the last one? But I think he played in that AC Milan game, got the nod today, picked himself up again. He was taking it to him. He's getting better and better every game. And I'm always somebody to hold my hands up when I make a mistake. I was always like, what have we got? Emerson Royal, this. Now, still to this day, he's probably not the best to be at the level, but he's continually improving. And that's all we ask of our players. Whether they're at the bottom of the pile or top of the pile, you want them improving. Harry Kane's been our best player for that, for the best part of 6 years. He's still improving though, isn't he? Son has kept improving, even though he's had a blip this year. It was good to see in the second half. Anyway, the first half was terrible, but it's a result that we needed to get because I felt that with Newcastle dropping points yesterday, it gave us the opportunity to go back into the top 4 now. Next week when we play Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, so for me, Man United are pretty much already going to win that. If I'm honest, I could be completely wrong, but I think United go and win that. If Newcastle deflated and we've won a game, Newcastle have got to then pick themselves up out of a cup final, knowing that we're in the top 4 and they've got to win the games. We always say that you'd rather have the points on the board. So if we've got the points on the board and Newcastle have got to go and get them with the form they're on, they're struggling to score goals. Callum Wilson out, not really putting up trees. They played reasonably well against Liverpool until Pope got sent off, but we all know how football works. It swings and roundabouts because I could be saying this and they go and beat Man United in the Carling Cup and then that'll give them the impetus to go and grab that 4th spot. But it was a win that we needed to win. With me, because I'm from the area, London, Kent, I really don't care how we win, London derbies. The pinnacle of London derbies is the North London one. We all know. Arsenal fans will tell you as well. Even though they're a bigger club than us, they'll tell you that no matter what, by hook or by crook, beat Tottenham. So it's the same way with me. But then we've got the West Hams, Tottenham won't take Crystal Palace as a serious one. But I've got, I had family in Crystal Palace growing up as a kid. I always used to be around Crystal Palace and Gypsy Hill, so I've got an affiliation towards that game. You got Fulham, Chelsea, obviously. London derbies are the ones for me. I always look out for those ones because it's like home to me. So we're going back to the game. The result that we needed. I couldn't care less if we got a goal that was meant to be offside and it wasn't. I don't care if it was deflected. I don't care if the referee kicked it in. We needed to win those games because we're in a predicament at the moment where we're not playing well, but we just need to get them results, and results breed confidence. So shout out to the team. Again, Conte wasn't there. We've gone and won without conceding. But I can guarantee you if Conte was playing today, we wouldn't have won. So there's something in that. I don't think the players feel ridiculously comfortable with Conte. And if they do, I think they're shook. I think they're scared that if they make a mistake or if they push forward or press when he doesn't want you to press, they feel that they're going to get a rollicking in the dressing room. So, I wish Conte all the best, but I'm hoping that you sat there in Sicily eating olives saying, I don't want to be here anymore, because I'd go as far as saying I'd have Stellini in for the next sort of 2, 3, 4 games. Pochettino, get wrapped up, because, in the first half, we played like we were scared of West Ham. And I'm not going to sit there and say Pochettino would work miracles overnight. But Pochettino turned us into a team where we would play Man United, we'd play Man City, we'd play Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, whoever it was, Real Madrid, Barcelona, anybody. And, we'd comfortably say that, okay, you're Real Madrid, but we're Tottenham. Now, we're not the biggest club in the world, but that's what we were saying to Real Madrid when they had Ronaldo in his pump, beat him. You know what I mean? We'd finish above Man City. We'd say to Chelsea, we'd turn up at the bridge and go, we ain't losing this game, and go and win it. And granted, he didn't win cups, I get that, but we're not going to win cups regardless under this stewardship. Like, ENIC ain't going to allow for coaches to win cups, because their cup is that. It's the cha-ching, it's the Skrilla, it's the dosh, it's the moolah, baby. That's what they're after. That's their trophy. Their trophies are stacked in suitcases, not in cupboards, cabinets for people to see. This is the trophies that fans like me and others are not allowed to see. These are the trophies that sit there in their bank. So as far as I'm concerned, I'd rather have a team that, if the hope kills me, that's fine, but at least there's a positive hope. Whereas now the hope doesn't even kill me because I've got none. I just think, I just hope we win. And then when we win, we win. So moving on to the next one, we've got a little respite now. We go into next week. The players have got enough time to rest. We watch the Champions League. We've got the Carabao Cup. And I just hope that this is a sign of things to come in terms of grinding out results and playing a little bit better football. That goal against West Ham, the first goal, for me, I don't think I've seen goals like that again with Conte. It was a brilliant through ball. Ben Davies, the left wing back, and Emerson Royal scores, and that's supposed to be our strength. But I feel that Stellini has understood that. He's told Ben Davies was going brilliantly forward, and so was Emerson Royal. Like, our fullbacks actually look like fullbacks today rather than other centre halves. So I just hope that we can continue with that. If Conte's to come back soon, then Stellini tells him this is what we need to do, because as far as I'm concerned, over the last 4 or 5 weeks, your assistant has got it right and you've got it wrong. So for me, it comes across like you're not listening to Stellini. Listen to Christian. Let him tell you what's going on. He understands you. He's been with you for 12 games. Just listen. And if you don't want to listen, walk away from our club and let him take charge until we get somebody that actually wants to do it without moaning. This is Jacob signing up at the one up top. Hope you've all had a blessed weekend, a blessed week. I pray that you move on to this next week prosperous. You all have a blessed week. I know I'll have a good week regardless of what Tottenham do, but because Tottenham won, I'm nice. Take care. Love.